welcome to episode number 4 of my December Doing It series. This month, I've been interviewing corporate badasses who are changing their organizations from the inside out. These are powerhouse corporate women that I have the pleasure of working with every single week inside of my executive path and the different programs that I offer. And I am so impressed by the ways that they really are showing up as a leader and the changes that they're able to make when they're able to bring their whole self to the leadership table. So I wanted to bring them here on LinkedIn Live to highlight their leadership journeys, and so that you can learn from them as an example of excellent leadership. Not to put you on the spot or anything, Thelma. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Take a minute
Thank you
to
for
introduce
having me.
yourself.
Thelma Haddock. I'm nearly 2 decades into my career at Iron Mountain. I'm currently a senior director of change management within our technology organization.
Amazing. To get us started, I'd love to hear more about your personal leadership style. How would you describe yourself as a leader?
Okay. Something I really value as a leader are truly the people. I am hands down a people first leader who truly cares about the employee experience, and that means on how their day is going day to day, how they experience their leadership, what's going on with the customers. Because I feel like that if we take care of the people, they will take care of our customers. So I know a lot of people say customer first, but I'm truly people, employee first, which I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that are such a great example of, hopping on a plane if you need to and getting there with your workers and like being like, okay, what's going on here? Let's solve this problem. Like talk to me, right? And you never shy away from having the tough conversations and really challenging your team. I think in your previous role, you were leading a group of like 200 people, right?
Right, right. And, I think that no matter what size of the organization that I'm in and responsible for, I build teams that have a strong ability to be successful. And that gives me the confidence that no matter what happens, what's going on, what obstacles may come in the way, that we will secure the results needed to be successful.
Yeah, and that's how we help the customer, right? See, you said it all goes hand in hand. It's so true. I love that. So did you always want to be a leader? Did you always see yourself as somebody who was a senior director?
No, I'm going to have to go back to childhood here.
Yeah, good. I love it.
That's a really good question. I can vividly recall some portions of my childhood, and I can remember that I always made what I thought were sound decisions for myself. And I wasn't really a follower. And I think that I learned that that was truly who I was when my parents had come to school and we were having like a parent teacher conference, and I was sitting in the back of the room while they were in the front. And my teacher goes on to say, I think I was in the second or third grade. My teacher goes on to say, well, she's really nice. She's intelligent. She said, but you know what? She is not swayed by much. And my parents were like, what's going on? What do you tell us more? And they said, well, she's not a follower. So you'll know that if she ever does something, it's because she truly wanted to do it. So she doesn't buy into, oh, do this, or I won't like you, or I won't be your friend. She's just like, okay. And she just moves on with her day. So I think that leading myself started me on the journey to eventually being a leader before I even knew it.
Now this is making so much sense, Thelma, because as you're talking about, being this people first leader, I think of the only way that we can really do that is if we're secure in ourselves, right? And when we think about the leaders that have been the most impactful, the ones that are really able, like I said, to hop on that plane to say, hey, what's going on, are the ones that have put themselves in check first and have done the things that they need to do for themselves to take care of themselves. That makes you available for your 200-person team to really see what needs to happen and where the gaps are. And I mean, I really think there's no other way that that's possible, that we can be there for others, is if we're not there for ourselves first.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I totally see that. So, speaking of being there for your team, I know that there's always a lot of ups and downs in leadership. What do you feel like are your ways of being able to lead your team through challenging situations and difficult times as we're moving? And you're in change management, so that's like change is inevitable, right?
It is. And, I think about when my team, any of my teams, when they've come across challenges, I'm thinking about, what is it that we can control? Because
Mhm.
sometimes we get all wound up into who said what, who says we can't go, who's not on board with what we're doing. And we need to step back and think about what it is we can control. And I think that when there are true challenges, I do my very best to be transparent with my team, and within that, try to peel back those layers to help them feel comfortable in what they're doing. And if we need to change course or do something differently, then let's just do it and not get too bogged down into it. But a lot of times when we have those difficulties, and I can see it on people, like they're just
Mhm.
stressed and they can't see their way out. I'm like, hey, take time off. Like I'm probably one of those very few leaders that's like, hey, I need you to take tomorrow off or the rest of the day off and just kind of relax and focus on you and come back recharged. Um, and I think that helps. And I also, although I like to, make sure that we're getting our work done, I love to have fun and laugh with my team. So, we'll have, like right now, my current team, we have a chat room that we'll get in there and we'll send jokes or what's going on in our day, different gifts or whatever. And then we just take time, at least once a month, to meet and do various things. Like we had a ugly sweater party the other day. We're all virtual, and we did that, and just try to do things to break it up a bit because our days can get stressful and back to back, with meetings and calls and things not moving in the direction we may need them to.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is such a, motivational way to be, right? To be like, okay, we're going to work through the hard times, focus on what we can control, and we're also going to focus on having fun, enjoying ourselves, and making sure that we're there for our team and all along the way. So I really appreciate that. That's so good. So I can really, see your leadership. You exude leadership, from the moment that I met you, and it has always seemed like you have felt motivated to have that voice at the table, to be included in the conversation. Why do you personally feel motivated to be included?
Well, I feel like I always make sure that my voice, that I voice my opinions and you know what it is that I bring to the table. I think that over the years, it's been more about being heard, because sometimes I think because my experience may be, um, different from some of the ones that I've worked with. So I may come in with a different perspective. And so it's not always that I would like, oh, yeah, let's do that. Or just want to move forward in the way that we've always done things. I'm one that is quick to say, well, that's great that we've done this and it worked for 70 years. What if we change it up a bit so that we can continue and move this into the future? So it's just important for me because it kind of goes back to being a people first leader. I do my best to listen to what um, our people are saying about what's wrong, what's right, and um, having that voice gives me that ability to kind of go back and be their voice.
Now that also makes sense too, because you're talking about being almost 2 decades at Iron Mountain, and that's so important, because otherwise if you're just working at the same organization for that amount of time, doing the same thing over and over again, like clearly you've had to reinvent yourself, pivot yourself along the way. And part of that commitment is like, I'm going to be included, right? If I see something, I'm going to say something. I'm going to speak up about situations. I'm not going to shy away from that. And I know that that has probably allowed you to continue to grow even after working at the same organization for an extended period of time.
It has. And I would say that, I started, like I said, nearly 2 decades ago, and I came in sales. So sales to care to operations and now change management within technology. I've seen a lot over the years and have cultivated multiple relationships, which helped me build my network. So I think it's been useful in every position that I've taken on and teams that I've led, because I am able to go back and, remember, if something comes up, let me call such and such to help us out of that situation.
Oh yeah, we did that 10 years ago, right? Like it's like, I know what that's about. And then also, how are we going to move forward, right? It's like this beautiful combination. I love that. I know that as we grow in our careers and rise in leadership, there is this impulse to give back, to join organizations, and also those same organizations are ones that have gotten us to where we are in our career. Are there any particular areas that you feel really compelled to get involved in, or how are you giving back to the community at large?
I would say that before the pandemic, I think I gave more back to the community in person than I have been lately. I used to do a lot with the food banks and, making sure that people have meals, especially, around the holidays in the winter times. But just overall, I would say that I like to help and mentor people within their careers. So that's something that I'd say that I do overall. It doesn't matter if it's a relative, a coworker, or just someone that I form a connection with. But, I'm always one as well to, donate when there's a fire or just whatever. So I guess I don't have just a one main way of giving back, but I'm usually that first one to raise my hand and to chip in and help whenever I can.
Yeah, like I just got a text message this morning. We had an earthquake in Northern California, and Thelma's the first one to text me and say, "Are you okay? I want to make sure everybody's okay," right? That's that people first, right? You're always looking for the opportunity to show up, to say, engage, to say, "Where can I help? I'm here for you." And I have always seen you that way. It's so impressive.
Well, thank you. I don't think I really think about it. It's just,
Yeah.
really who I am.
Yeah, totally. It's amazing. Well, I know that you've inspired so many listeners to this episode today, and you inspire me as a leader to want to do more and to give more. And I'm so grateful for your time today and your participation and your willingness to really show up as the leader that you know that you are, and to engage in those conversations, to go for more, to see what's next, and to follow the waves. So I'm grateful for you and your time today. Thank you, Thelma.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And we'll be back next week, where I'm interviewing another leader every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on LinkedIn Live. Make sure you follow me if you're not already, to be notified when we go live. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.